Small car, big engine. It's the automotive equivalent of putting a bodybuilder in a kiddie pool. Today, we're counting down the top 10 tiny cars with massive engines. From the outside, they look harmless, but inside, pure chaos. These 10 machines are the result of bold ideas, questionable engineering decisions, and a whole lot of madness. Number 10, Renault Clio 5 6-Phase 2. This is one of those what were they thinking masterpieces. Take a regular Clio hatch, rip out everything that makes it practical, and stuff a mid-mounted 3.0-liter V6 where your luggage used to be. The Phase 2 Clio V6 pushes roughly 250 to 255 horsepower from that compact V6, and the result is gloriously ridiculous. A surprisingly heavy little hatch that accelerates like it's got an identity crisis. Steering is honest, the soundtrack is chesty and raw, and the cabin reminds you that packaging is for losers. It's small, brutally fast for its size, and it makes the everyday commute feel like an overexcited track day. Awkward, dangerous, and impossible to ignore. Number 9, Gremlin 401XR. AMC's Gremlin was already a love it or hate it subcompact, but the 401XR is where things get gloriously American. A Gremlin with a 401 cubic inch V8 shoved up front. Built by hot rodders, the Randall 401XR and similar swaps took an otherwise humble hatchback and turned it into a wheel-standing, ear-splitting drag toy. Quarter-mile times became respectable, and handling, well, let's call it enthusiastically unpredictable. It's the kind of car that looks like it should be fetching coffee and instead roars past anything that underestimated it. Totally impractical, totally theatrical, and exactly the kind of nutty engineering hot rod culture exists for. Number 8, Peugeot 205 Turbo 16 Talbot. The 205 Turbo 16 is the cathedral of small car insanity from Rally's golden age. Under its stubby body sits a mid-mounted turbocharged 1.8-liter four-cylinder, making roughly 195 to 200 horsepower in road guise. But on the Rally stage, it was a short, feral missile lightweight four-wheel drive, and a furious turbo scream made it lethal on gravel and tarmac alike. This car proves that horsepower isn't just about displacement. Packaging and traction matter. In a world of giant muscle cars, the 205 T16 was a pocket rocket designed to hurl itself into corners and punish any driver who thought size mattered more than focus and fury. Number 7, Lotus Exige S3. Lotus built its reputation on lightness and razor handling, and then asked, what if we supercharged the fun? The Exige S3 keeps the tiny surgical chassis Lotus is famed for, and plants a 3.5-liter V6, often supercharged in the middle, producing well north of 300 horsepower depending on variant. The consequence is savage, brutal mid-range shove, cornering that feels telepathic, and a driving experience so immediate it borders on rude. It's not comfortable, and it's not subtle. But when you want raw mechanical connection and a grin that refuses to fade, the Exige S3 is practically a prescription. Number 6, Ariel Atom V8. The Atom is already a minimalist's dream. Tubular frame, no roof, nearly no body. Now imagine that skeleton hosting a screaming 3.0-liter V8, revving to absurd RPMs. That's the Atom 500 V8, with around 450 to 500 horsepower and featherweight structure. Its power-to-weight ratio is bonkers. The effect launch control not required. You simply cease being in the same speed bracket as everyone else. Cornering is a blur of grip, acceleration is surgical, and the cockpit is louder than your life decisions. It's raw, brutal, and extremely honest. This car won't mollycoddle you. It will remind you why you'd ever wanted to drive for the hell of it. Number 5, Toyota Aygo Crazy. Toyota's Aygo is a tiny city car, and the Aygo Crazy is that tiny car after it swallowed a sports car diet. Toyota re-engineered it with a mid-mounted 1.8-liter MSR2 engine, a turbo conversion around 195 to 200 horsepower and rear-wheel drive. Weight is held near a ton. The result isn't pretty, it's audacious. Brake upgrades, a roll cage, and track-ready suspension turn this cute commuter into a compact lunatic that hustles like a pocket rocket. The Aygo Crazy proves that clever packaging and a dose of motorsport hardware can turn cute into scary fast without losing character. It's the don't judge a book of tiny hot hatches. Number 4. Renault Twingo Twin Run. Renault's Twin Run concept is the little car that roared like a racer, about the size of a city car. It hides a mid-mounted 3.5-liter V6, the racing Megane trophy unit, tuned to roughly 320 horsepower, built as a showpiece and tribute to pure driving. It's a lightweight, no-nonsense racer with a sequential gearbox and race spec setup. The layout gives it an uncanny balance, small in footprint, but monstrous in performance. It's a reminder that manufacturers occasionally make cars because they can, not because the market asked for them. And those are often the most interesting machines to talk about. Number 3. Shelby Cobra 427. If you want classic proof that big engines and small bodies are addictive and terrifying, the Cobra 427 is the textbook. Start with a nimble British roadster, then bolt in a Ford 427 cubic inch V8, think 425 to 500 horsepower depending on tune, and you have a car that launches you into another time zone. The Cobra isn't refined, it's visceral. Steering is heavy, brakes are basic by modern standards, and the acceleration feels like being thrown from a cliff sideways. It's loud, it's raw, and it has an attitude that will permanently rearrange your expectations for what small can do when it's drunk on displacement. Number 2. Aston Martin's Signet V8. Aston Martin's Signet started life as a polite city car, a reskinned Toyota IQ, designed for urban chic. Someone in Aston's Q division, or an obsessed owner, decided that's not enough and swapped in a V8, roughly around 4.7 liters and in the ballpark of 430 horsepower. The result is gloriously absurd. A handful of inches on the outside, a shove that feels like a punch from a heavyweight. It's fundamentally a statement piece, the sort of one-off that exists purely to make engineers and collectors smile and to terrify anyone who thought small meant sensible. You'll never commute in peace again. Bonus: BMW Z3M V12. Just when you think you've seen it all, here's a wild card: the BMW Z3M with a V12. That's right, a tiny roadster, nimble and lightweight, packing a massive 12-cylinder heart. Imagine zipping down a twisty road in a car that feels like it was designed for a 2-seater Sunday drive, but suddenly punches you in the chest with 320 horsepower. The engine note is pure drama, a symphony that refuses to be ignored. Handling is surprisingly agile, yet the sheer grunt keeps you on your toes. This Z3M V12 isn't just fast, it's audacious, bold, and totally unforgettable. Number 1. Volkswagen Golf GTIW 12-650. Volkswagen stuffed a 6.0-liter twin-turbo W12 into a widened Golf shell and tuned it to around 650 horsepower. Yes, a Golf, mid-engine, 2-seater, more supercar than hatchback. It was originally a hand-built show car exercise, but it worked. The W12650 obliterated expectations. Astonishing acceleration, an exhaust note at odds with the VW badge, and the capacity to make any parking lot look like a bad idea. It's the ultimate small car with supercar guts. Ridiculous, unapologetic, and impossibly, gloriously fun.